It's after 10 o'clock and it's time for the council in session. We have Mrs. Chick, Mr. Fuhrer, Mr. Kowski, Mr. Pacheco, Mr. Walter. 6 members present and 4 for the quorum. We need 1 for a quorum. Sergeant? Mr. Wax, would you please come in? Mr. Holden? Mr. Holden doesn't get in, we won't recognize any of his specials. council come to order. Call the roll.
Brinson, Chick, Pierre, Galante, Goldberg, Hernandez, Holden, Miskowski, Pacheco, Padilla, Relay, Thomas, Warner, Wax, Walters, Ferraro, 10 members present, a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay, the council will please come to order. This is a meeting of the City Council for the City of Los Angeles on the 25th day of April, the year 2000. There are 15 council districts in the city. The regular meeting days are Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We are currently being viewed by cable subscribers throughout the Los Angeles area on Channel 35, and we're also being monitored by council phone. First order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
All right, Mr. Burnson moves, Mr. Padilla second. There's no objections, unanimous vote. Next item.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
There's no objections, unanimous vote. First order of business.
Before beginning the regular agenda, there are several items to continue. Item number 1, Council Member Galante has requested that be continued to May 16th.
There is no objections, unanimous vote.
Item number 2, Building and Safety has requested that be continued to May 9th.
There's no objections, unanimous vote.
Item number 22, Council Member Hernandez's office requests that be continued to May 2nd.
If there's no objections, unanimous vote.
Item 38, Council Member Swarnish's office requests that be continued for one day to April 26th.
There's no objections, unanimous vote.
Items noticed for public hearing, items 3 through 7 are building and safety assessments.
3 through 7. Is there anybody in the audience who wants to be heard on any of those items? Have no cards? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Any specials by council members, 3 through 7? If not, prepare the roll on 3 through 7. Tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
That is approved. On 43, do we have a continue?
Mr. President, that item number, the recommendation number 1 should be adopted, and recommendations 2 and 3 should be continued then for tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll wait till we get there. Next.
Item,
Mrs. Walters, did you have somebody you wanted to introduce?
It gives me great pleasure today to introduce to the council Ron Silverman, who's the executive director of the March of Dimes, the Los Angeles division. And with him is Carolyn Jackson, who is the city coordinator. She's from the, she's council liaison, General Manager's Office, Department of Recreation and Parks, and she's the city liaison for this drive. All of us know the importance of research on birth defects, the importance of children getting the kind of health care they need very early in life and also prenatally. And the March of Dimes is engaged in the kind of research that will assist in alleviating that problem. And so I want to introduce both of these people here today and ask them to stand. Oh, they're at the mic. You're already at the mic.
Hi.
Okay.
Thank you, Councilmember
See, I can't
Walters.
see you. I'm through the...
I noticed I couldn't see you either.
Right. Okay.
Thank you very much for that fine introduction, Councilmember Walters. Mr. President, members of the City Council, it is indeed an honor and a privilege to be here today in support of the March of Dimes. On behalf of Ellie Oppenheim, who could not be here today due to a prior commitment, I want to tell you what a privilege it's been to help Ellie as she chaired the City of Los Angeles team for the March of Dimes this year. I invite you to join us at in Griffith Park on Saturday, April the 29th at 8 a.m. for Walk America. And I believe Mr. Silverman, the Executive Director of March of Dimes, is going to tell us more about that this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Councilmember Walters. Good morning, council members. I'm honored to be here today. For the past 18 years, the City of Los Angeles has partnered with the March of Dimes in our campaign for healthy babies. Not only is the City of Los Angeles the #1 Walk America team in Southern California, it is also the #1 municipal team in the entire country. Last year, city employees raised $270,000 for our efforts to make sure that every baby is born healthy. And this year, we're going to do even better. So please accept this March of Dimes Walk America 2000 t-shirt, which you all have in front of you. And hopefully, I will see each and every one of you this Saturday, April 29th, at Griffith Park for Walk America. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Silverman. The next item, please.
Mr. President, there's an additional continuance. The city attorney has advised that item number 10 should be continued to tomorrow, April 26th.
If there's no objections, unanimous vote.
Next item, required public hearing number, item number 8.
Is there anybody in the audience who wants to be heard on item number 8? Seeing none. Okay, we continue the hearing until May 16th. All right, if there's no objections, that will be the order on number 8. Next item.
Items for which public hearings have been held, items 9 through 18.
Are there any specials? 9 through 18. The item 10 has been continued.
Item 17, there are 2 reports on the file, and also in addition, items 16 and 18 have 1 signature, and those require motions.
Okay. All right, whose signature's on there, do you know? All right, Mr. Pacheco moves on 16 and 18. We'll call 17 special so we can get them. Item number, what about item 9? Is motion is required?
Yes, Mr. President, there's 2 signatures on that file. It needs 5.
It means what?
It needs 5 signatures. There are only 2.
All right. Mrs. Chick moves on that. It's an ordinance, so we'll go over 1 week anyway, so we're not expecting 12 today, so we'll withhold on item 9, motion by Mrs. Chick, and we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 18. Prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Okay. On item
Forthwith, Mr. President, forthwith on 16 and 18.
Forthwith on those. Item number 17, we have 2 files.
Want to move the CED report on behalf of Mr. Chairman Hernandez.
Okay, any discussion? All right, prepare the roll, tabulate the vote. Mr. Burnson, you're out of order. You sound
11
like,
ayes.
You sound like Nate Holden. Those are approved.
Forthwith on number 17, Mr. President.
You don't have to send everything forthwith, Nick. Forthwith on 17. Next item.
Items for which public hearings have not been held, items 19 through 45.
We have a card on 31. We'll call that special. Anybody want to be heard on any of those items? For 42, we'll call special. Huh? 31, we have a card on that, so we call that special. Anybody want to be heard on any of those items?
20 and 37.
You're not allowed to be heard right now, Mr. Holden. And
Special?
also, I want to point out that you were late, and so we voted not to let you call anything special.
Welcome back, Mr.
Okay.
Farrar.
All
Good to see you. Look good.
The public hearings are closed on all those. Now any specials?
Welcome back, Mr. Farrar. Did you enjoy your vacation in Florida?
Yeah. What do you?
You came back with renewed spirit. Anyway, since you look so good, you feel good, and you accept item 20, 37, and 42 as special. That's my 3. Thank you.
20.
37 and 42. Someone else called 31 special.
We called 42 special already, but that's okay. All right, any other specials? If not, prepare the roll on 19 through 45 with the exception of 20, 22, which has been continued, 31,
Give me trouble.
37, 38 has been continued, and 42 is special. And 43, we have to correct that situation, so we'll call that special. 44 and 45. Prepare the roll on those. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Mr. President, forthwith on 44.
Forthwith on 44. You can tell that Nick is working. Okay, those, all right, the 46 through 48 are closed session items? Oh, okay. Let's go back to
Mr. President, forthwith on item 27, please.
fourth. Yeah, well, he's learning from you, Nick. Forthwith on 27. Okay,
Mr. President, I understand that Mr. Padilla has requested 27 to go forthwith, but this is a lease agreement for the Housing Authority. Is there a reason why they're going to 6th and Columbia as opposed to downtown here on Spring Street?
I don't know. Ask him.
I don't know whether he knows about it or not. I understand the item has been voted on as he walked out the door, but I'm requesting that information.
What item is it? 20?
This is item 27. It's a lease for the Housing Authority for 13,500 square feet at an address denoted here as 6th and Columbia Avenue. And I'm wondering why this is done at some location outside of downtown, outside the historic core, as the council had passed a policy to do.
I'm not sure, but I think we own that property.
Well, we're leasing it.
That was the, wasn't that the old, why don't we get somebody down here to,
Yes, to answer the question, I would appreciate it very
Mr.
much.
Chair, do you want to reconsider the item since it has been voted on?
I would move reconsideration. Thank you.
all right, there's no objections. Item 27 has been reconsidered. And can we get somebody from the Housing Department? Okay, next item.
Item
Are you here on the Housing Department?
Yes, sir, I am. My name is Hans Klein, and I'm the General Services Officer with the Housing Authority.
Why are you leasing this property? And
The property belongs to the City of Los Angeles, and it is part of the former Central Receiving Hospital. It's a small corner lot, which we desire to lease from the city for a period of 5 years to establish a parking lot for our security force, the Public Safety Department of the Housing Authority.
Mrs. Walters?
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to the gentleman who came forward with the information. The corner that you're proposing to lease, is that a lawn area where they have the grass and the trees?
The area is primarily a paved area. There is a small patch of lawn area included.
Well, I asked that question because there are no parks in that area, and every time I go past there, the lawn is being used as a park by people who live in the general vicinity, and I would hate to reduce that land that they can use for a park.
The area in question is presently used as a parking lot, and there is a chain link fence around it. There's a small area adjacent to that has now grass and is proposed to be used as a parking lot, but it's a minimal patch of area, and it's just so that the parking lot is more useful to round off the number of spaces and the driveway there.
About what's the square footage, or what are the measurements of it, do you know?
I don't have the exact numbers, but I could certainly get them for you.
I would appreciate having those as soon as possible.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. President.
What is your, what did you say, Mrs. Walters? I didn't hear.
I said thank you very much.
Oh, okay. All right, prepare the roll on 27. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That's approved and was sent forthwith. Next item.
Item number 20, called special by Councilmember Holden.
This is an important item to hold my time. I think we should have an explanation on area planning committees. And Ms. Chick is the chair of the ad hoc committee on charter reform. It'd be good for, even for me, again, to hear it be restated, let alone the public at large and maybe the staff, what this area planning committee is going to mean for them and their involvement in preserving their community
Okay. Mr. Sutton?
Bob Sutton for the Planning Department. The council approved 7 area planning commissions a few weeks back. They approved the Mulholland specific plan appeals going to the South Valley Area Planning Commission. This is a matter of formalizing that in an ordinance. You have language which describes the areas by community plans and a map that goes along with it. This map on my right here represents what council approved in the last session.
Council approved this in the last...
Council approved, this is formalizing it by ordinance.
Right, and how many areas are we talking about?
7
areas, and the geographic area is not shown on the screen, but should be.
The geographical areas are
Would you
the
go ahead and just
North
explain?
Valley, South Valley, West LA, Central Los Angeles, East Los Angeles, South Los Angeles, and the harbor.
Okay, how will this differ significantly, if at all, from the planning as we know it today?
Today, we only have 1 planning commission for the entire city. We'll still have 1 planning commission for the entire city, plus 7 area planning commissions that will meet out in the areas.
And what would be their involvement, contribution, if any? How would it be?
Policy
Policy is
decisions,
essential.
creations of districts will be done by the citywide commission. Appeals on many of the cases that we presently have going to the commission will start going to the area planning commissions.
All right.
So they'll be hearing a lot of appeals. They will also be involved in the planning process of reviewing the recommendations of the department before they go to the commission.
All right, and then the recommendation, is it final when they appeal to the area planning commission?
There's what's called a 245, where council can, by 245, bring it in front of them if they desire.
I didn't hear, what was that
There's a
again?
replacement to what was called Prop 5. It's now called 245.
So the area planning commission recommendation will stand firmly
In some cases, they will be stand firmly,
unless,
unless brought up by council under 245. Other issues will be brought to council.
so
by the
they have some
appeal.
juice is what you're saying?
They have some juice.
Mrs. Chick?
Well, actually, I pushed my button because I wasn't sure if Mr. Holden wanted to hear from me or from staff, and I think staff has done a very good job, Mr. Sutton, of explaining, and the Chair of Plum Committee is about to speak on it. Think it's a very exciting new way to go, and looking forward to its implementation.
Mr. Burnson?
Yeah, I think the staff has done a very good job here in giving us a plan that we can live with. It's a departure from what used to be, but we're required, whether we supported the charter or not, this is what we have, and we have to comply. We did the very best job we could, and I think the council still retains the ability to have the last word on most issues. And I would urge an aye vote on this. I think we just have to move forward, and we need to be complete on this thing very shortly, so I would urge an aye vote on it.
Mr. Holden, you want to talk again?
No, I didn't speak.
They explained it to you, didn't they?
Yeah, I know, but now I'm going to give a statement. My statement is that...
Well, everybody pay attention. He's going to make a statement.
Right. Each area planning commission will consist of, in terms of representation, how many?
There'll be 5 members in each commission.
All right, and how will they be selected?
They'll be selected by the mayor and confirmed by the council, and they will be taken from the areas where they live.
From the area which is the
In other words, they have to live within the area.
the central area, which means I'm really concerned about the fact that in the central area that I represent, include about 4 or 5 parts of various council districts, you'll probably end up getting the most active people and some people who want to preserve the status quo and may not want any development within the inner city in which they are representing with these 5 people. I mean, if you get the wrong people on those commissions, you can find that in my area, for an example, the Pico area, the West Adams area, where we're now in the process of making some real development progress. If they vote no on these projects, then that carries. Isn't that correct? Yes or no?
On zone changes, it all goes to council because legislative action.
Does it carry, yes or no? You just said that word was final unless we Prop 5.
On some things, they're final, but they can be brought to 245 to council. Other
don't-
things do go to council,
See,
like
if-
ordinances.
If I don't understand it, the public don't understand it. It's either going to be, under worst circumstances, it's final, worst circumstances, it's not final, and that's what the public needs to know. And what we need is a clear definition of what you're talking about, so I can disseminate that information, at least to my constituent, so they'll know how to react to it, how to respond to it, and how to influence the mayor, if at all, to select the people who can be responsive to my district, period.
The ordinances are being prepared by the city attorney with our office. There'll be charts to go along with to help explain it to the public. We are now planning on how to do some training to help the public as well as staff and development community.
Well, we're finalizing something that's going to change the life of people, not only in my district, but throughout the city, and they know less about it now than they did when they voted for charter reform. They'll be shocked when they discover they have less influence with this proposal than they have in.
Okay, anyone else? We have item 20, is it? Prepare the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
It's an ordinance, and it's 12 votes, and we don't have 12 votes. We're not going to get 12. So it's going to go over 1 week. Yeah. This is part of the charter we do. Yeah, I didn't know you're in a hurry. Next item.
Item number
Wait, do we have, Mr. Lydia, item 31, are you here on item 31? Okay, we have somebody who wants to be heard, and let's take that one up now. We have Kendall Pelling, who is the aide to Supervisor Mike Antonovich. You trying to expand the airport? Is that what you're trying to do?
Definitely.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm here on behalf of Supervisor Antonovich because Los Angeles World Airports is dragging its feet in developing Palmdale Airport and marketing regional airports. There was a letter from Supervisor Antonovich that I'll now read. I want to especially thank Councilmember Ruth Galanter, who made the motion to require that the Los Angeles World Airport report on marketing existing facilities at Palmdale Airport and developing new facilities. The progress of LAWA in developing Palmdale Airport has been disappointing, to say the least. Its actions demonstrate little more than lip service to the work that would be involved in truly making Palmdale a thriving airport. The most glaring example of the foot dragging is seen in the lack of progress in obtaining approval from the U.S. Air Force for the cargo ramp. The Air Force expressed its concerns to LAWA in a letter dated May 21, 1999, which stated the cumulative environmental impact of the entire cargo operation must be assessed in lieu of a piecemeal analysis of individual projects to comply with the National Environmental Protection Act. Moreover, on December 23, 1999, Lieutenant Colonel Bob Catlin, commander of Air Force Plant 42, where Palmdale Airport is located, reiterated this position in an email to LAWA officials detailing Air Force concerns about the documents LAWA submitted. In spite of these admonitions, LAWA insists on a piecemeal environmental analysis. The LAWA report before you today states, LAWA currently does not plan to further a complete review until demand necessitates it. The environmental clearance will be obtained project by project. This approach clearly delays not only the construction of the cargo ramp, but any meaningful expansion at the Plant 42 Palmdale Airport. Another area where LAWA is not being aggressive is in developing an effective marketing campaign to attract airlines and cargo carriers to Palmdale Airport. In addition, on April 17th, a Los Angeles Business Journal article showed that Ontario Airport is also suffering from an anemic marketing effort. A vigorous and sustained marketing effort is necessary to relieve air traffic at LAX. As part of this effort, the county recently hired a team of consultants to market all the regional airports in the county, including Palmdale. We hope that LAWA will work with the county consultants
to implement an effective marketing campaign. Palmdale Airport is a competitive existing facility that is vital to the economic prosperity of the city of Los Angeles. For example, if LAWA fails to effectively market Palmdale, the region may lose the Department of Defense Joint Strike Fighter contract, worth $750 billion over the next 20 years. Such a loss would impact 4,917 high-tech parts subcontractors on this program currently located in the city of Los Angeles. Every council member here has parts contractors that would work on this program and would be negatively impacted. Commercial air service at Palmdale is vital to support the Joint Strike Fighter program and will help our region gain this massive $750 billion contract over the next 20 years. I urge you to put teeth in your mandate to Los Angeles World Airports to develop effective plans for marketing and expanding regional air services before expanding LAX. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, and tell Mike we appreciate his comments.
Sure will.
Why don't you, Ms. Kennard,
Thank you
this
very
out.
much. I'm Lydia Kennard, Executive Director of Los Angeles World Airport. We're here today to report on the progress of the development of Palmdale Regional Airport. It was less than a year ago, in October 1999, that we signed a major cooperation agreement with Los Angeles World Airport and the city of Palmdale. This was a result, and we'd like to give due credit to Councilwoman Ruth Galaner, who really prodded our staff and challenged us to try to find new ways to incentivize the development of Palmdale Airport. We're very, very proud of the progress that we've made. 3 months after that cooperation agreement was signed, we were able to attract Swissair, a subsidiary of Swissair, SR Techniques, to Palmdale. It is the largest single investment by a foreign company in the state of California in the last 10 years. And we're very, very proud of that. We think that's just the beginning of the development of Palmdale Airport. We have also well-staffed our group of Palmdale initiatives. We have a Palmdale working group. We have it well-staffed with LAWA staff as well as City of Palmdale staff and outside consultants. I have here with me, and we're very proud to have as our partner in all of this, the Honorable Jim Ledford, Mayor of the City of Palmdale. Also here with me is Jim Ritchie, our Deputy Executive Director, who has been charged with developing Palmdale.
Thank you, Mr. President, councilmen, council members.
don't let the animals interfere with you.
That's yes, sir.
Don't feed the animals.
I'd like to give, as Ms. Kennard has indicated, I'd like to give you a progress report of where we are today. We're pretty proud, myself and the mayor, of our accomplishments in the past 6 months. I'd like to describe our report to you. We're not as far as we want to be, but we're going to get further, and with the energy that we have behind this program. My report is divided into two components. I would draw your attention to the left-hand side of the folder, which is a regional analysis that we have conducted that is titled Air Transportation in the Los Angeles Region. That analysis was put together based on a variety of sources from SCAG, from the FAA, and independent consultants to validate the aviation demand that we know is going to occur into the region. Very quickly, that summarizes, it says, the majority of the growth is going to go to the south and the east, both into Orange County and into the Inland Empire. It summarizes by saying a failure to accept that demand or accommodate the aviation demand will turn to loss of that economic vitality to the region. We're firm believers that everybody within the region has to take its fair share in developing their own aviation airport assets. Along that line, we're taking the first step at Palmdale as one of our 3 commercial airports to implement this framework. As you know, Lydia has described a cooperative agreement that we've established with the City of Palmdale. Jim Ledford and myself co-chair that effort. We have 3 subcommittees based on marketing, facilities, and transportation, and I'd like to touch just briefly on my view of those accomplishments in those 3 areas, and I'm confident the mayor will likewise boast on his views. In the marketing, we've talked about SR Technics, 6,000 jobs, the potential for $440 million into the Antelope Valley, and I can tell you that has been a trigger for other discussions we've had for potential tenants. We have committed $255,000 to a public relations, public information program to market outside the Antelope Valley, try to draw and attract aviation demand out of the San Fernando Valley. We've already had an airline interest. We think that commuter airline is a potential that is becoming riper by the day. Lastly, in marketing, I'd like to point out the cargo facility study that we have recently commenced at a cost of $68,000. Facilities, second category, I'll draw your attention to Exhibit 5, some photographs that describe efforts we've taken to modernize our terminal facility. Today it sits at about a facility capable of 800,000 passengers a year, with a growth and a long-range plan that we have developed to grow that facility out as demand increases out to 8 million annual passengers. We have a new cargo ramp that was addressed. We have efforts at a new cargo ramp. We're currently working with the Air Force on trying to get that approval. That basically has a footprint of 2 DC-8 sized aircraft. Our terminal capacity at present is in accordance with the joint use agreement we have with the Air Force is 50 operations a day, which could handle up to 1 million annual passengers. So as we reach those thresholds, those trigger points, if you will, we are prepared to expand that facility in our continuing development of the EIS-EIR and the joint use agreement with the Air Force that'll take us all the way out to 400 operations a day. Lastly, transportation. We've recently initiated a regional airport connectivity study with SCAG at a cost of $360,000. We've been active on high-speed rail initiatives, preferring a road alignment through Palmdale, vice the Grapevine route, Route 14, Route 138. We have, in close cooperation with Caltrans, we have improvements that we know are on track in that arena. Just recently, Route 138, we will now have the authority to grant an easement for the widening of another portion of that roadway. And lastly, we have several projects that were picked up recently, thanks again to the staff, MTA's mini call for projects that will add to several ground transportation improvements. Where do we go next? We have continue these initiatives. We have more marketing to capitalize upon. We need to work closer with the Air Force, get more accomplishments from the Air Force in those areas, like the cargo ramp that was previously mentioned, and of course support the continued funding of Caltrans. With that, I'd like to defer to my next co-chair for his observations in those categories also, and we'll stand by for questions.
Honorable President, council members, I'm here to say thank you.
Give your name to the...
I'm Jim Ledford, Mayor with the City of Palmdale. I want to start off by saying thank you for your focus on the airport in Palmdale. And I want to say thank you for SR Technics coming to the City of Palmdale. Very, very big for our community. I also wanted to say that we have now been able to focus the issue on Plant 42, approximately 6,800 acres that sits there as an airport today exists in Palmdale. And I think for a lot of people in Southern California, we've been focused on the 17,000 acres as an airport to be built, when in reality we have one in place right now. And that's a very important fact that we've been able to focus as part of our working group, because I can tell you in years past, we've dealt with this issue in a piecemeal basis. And we had identified some major areas that we needed to focus on in cooperation with the City of Los Angeles, and thus came the working group. The working group has actually formalized the most comprehensive approach to development of the airport at Plant 42 that I have ever seen. And I think out of that, we are going to come up with a model that will allow us to do the incremental expansion as demand does occur. It will put us in a very focused position as how that airport will evolve. And I think it gives us the ability to look for ways to enhance the viability of the airport at Plant 42. I also want to make a special thank you to Councilwoman Glantner. I want to say thank you for your focus and your efforts, and I think your efforts today have brought us to this point now where I think we have the most focus we've ever had as far as an airport in Palmdale. In closing, I want to say we want an airport in Palmdale, and that's something you may not hear out of most communities. Our community wants it. We look forward to the development and expansion, and we want to be a contributor to the regional solution for airport development in Los Angeles. So with that, I'll say thanks, and I'm pleased with our progress to date.
Could you move Palmdale to Inglewood, please?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Galanter.
Well, first of all, I thank you for the nice compliments, both of you. And I want to thank Supervisor Antonivich's office for being here as well. I think that the Department of Airports deserves much higher marks than at any time in history that I know of for responsiveness. And I do congratulate you on the fact that starting when Jack Driscoll said, gee whiz, you know, this is before Lydia's time, he said, gee whiz, you know, nobody's ever tried to figure out what we could do up there, and hired the consultants that started this ball rolling. And then when Ms. Kennard came in and took over, and we've moved ahead, and Jim, as you pointed out, we've now got this agreement, I think that we are in a different political climate than we used to be. But I have to say, guys, that I still have a lot of concerns. I congratulate you on what you've done, but I think that the problem that we are still stuck with, and some of this we've talked about in the Palmdale Working Group, is that you're not thinking big enough. As Mr. Ritchie points out, the demand in Southern California is enormous and growing. It doesn't happen at this moment to be focused on Palmdale, but it doesn't look like it's going to be satisfied anywhere else. And so it seems to me that we have an opportunity here to be more than responsive. Just responding to a phone call from an airline is not enough, and I would really urge you to go call the airlines. Don't wait for them to call you, because they aren't going to do it, if past history is any indication. As we talked about at the Palmdale Working Group last week, or whenever that was, 2 weeks ago, the marketing effort is a great idea to have a marketing effort. We clearly need one, but marketing or promoting the airport just within the Antelope Valley is not going to bring the demand and the attention that's necessary to make this airport really work. And you've got to get beyond the Antelope Valley. As anybody on the Board of Supervisors in LA County will tell you, we have a lot of people in the San Fernando Valley, the north part of the valley, for whom it's just as easy to get to Palmdale, as long as they know where it is, as it is to get to LAX, because almost anything is just as easy to get to as LAX. And that, despite your best efforts, is not going to get a whole lot better at LAX. So it seems to me that certainly you should take a moment and pause and be proud of what you've achieved, but you got a long way to go yet. And I would urge you to step up the marketing effort so that it is really a marketing effort, not just a kind of make nice in the local community. As Mayor Ledford points out, the local community is supportive. Yes, we want the little kids to go see where the airport is. We want to be able to have tours. But what we really want is for the airlines to find out where the airport is. It's not that far away. And when people ask, how are people going to get there? They're going to get there the same way they get to LAX, in automobiles, until we have something better. That's how they go to LAX. They go on a bus, they go on a flyaway. They can do the same thing to Palmdale, as they could to Ontario as well. What concerns me the most, however, council members, and I hope you will all pay attention to this, is that we're sitting around waiting for demand to rise to a level at which LAWA will then begin the environmental clearance process for whatever they don't already have clearance for, which is most of it. I understand there is clearance on the 17,000 acres, but not on the Plant 42 site. Well, Cliff Moore, some decades ago, arranged that in order to be able to stimulate a little activity, and it worked temporarily. But why not use that? Or why not, which seems to be probably more efficient, go get the environmental clearance as you did in Ontario. You did it right in Ontario. You got the environmental clearance in advance of the need to build, so when it was time to build, you could just go build. Why not do that here? And of course, the biggest problem is, I know you're so busy working on the LAX proposed expansion that you don't have time for this stuff. But this is where the future is, guys, and this is really, you know, we all want to help you. You've got the city, actually, maybe we should have you say it again, we want the airport. This is a unique thing, we have you on tape.
Yes.
There is no other community in Southern California, except maybe way out east, that is saying we want it. And if we don't move on this while they still want it, something could change, and then we won't be able to meet the demand. So I do think it's nice that we have gotten as far as we've gotten. I really do. I appreciate that we've gotten as far as we've gotten. I just think we ought to be a whole lot farther along, and particularly I think this effort ought to be better synchronized than it is today with the planning for LAX, because if the public's going to have a rational debate about airport expansion, we need to have all of the cards on the table at once, not another deck somewhere in the back room that maybe if we win or lose on the first one, maybe the other deck will come out. I will stop there.
Thank you. Mr. Holden, the expert on...
Mayor, have you taken a vote of the people in your city regarding whether or not they will support the expansion of this airport?
Actually, no referendum has been taken.
Well, then you don't really know then, do you?
I think I got a pretty good pulse of my community.
Yeah, wait until election time comes when they start putting those aircrafts in there, increase its use. You know, it reminds me of what happened in 1955 and 1960 when they said, let's expand LAX. In this room, just a few people got together and they said, we're all in support of it. Then they started building more houses and so on, and the lawsuits came, and the noise they were saying, were complaining about, the intense use. Now, it sounds good because it's not there yet. Wait until it's there. You know, you'll be gone. You know, you want to be around and say, I caused the problem.
Right.
I would like... That's all right. You get 3 minutes here. And then you can speak.
Okay.
Okay. But the fact of the matter is that that's what will happen. I support expansion, its use, the economy. I mean, I'm supporting of that. But you got to think about the traffic and the roads, the influx of new people. Once you increase its use, more housing, more development, you know what happens after development? More complaints, even from the people who are benefiting from the expansion program. You're just never going to make them happy all the time. And so you'll be removed and I'll be gone and you'll be replaced and things like that will happen. But, you know, because you try to do your good work. All right, you're going to run for mayor of Palmdale and you won't get elected once they hear about what you've done to them. But in terms of the world airport, you have a master plan, they tell me, LAX Master Plan Environmental Impact Review Report, which is saying this is what you ought to do. And, well, you're saying study it anyway. And the timetable for Ontario and for Palmdale, that's really what you're talking about. But we are acquiring property at LAX. That's in the master plan also. Is that right, Ms. Kennard?
We are only doing...
Is that in the plan, master plan?
There is some acquisition,
Yeah,
yes, there
that's
is.
right. So the master plan includes not only Palmdale and Ontario, but LAX expansion program. And I'm just waiting to see when something comes from Ms. Galanta's committee to tell us about what specifically we're going to do about LAX expansion. And once that's done, we're going to solve that problem because we will. Then that would be the envelope or the off-the-shelf approach to resolving whatever might occur at Palmdale and Ontario. I think we have to begin to listen to what the people want and how we're going to solve their problem. Over by LAX, we're just buying all the property. But we don't have enough money to buy Palmdale. I mean, you got your own city already. You're already incorporated. But that's something we might have to do.
Look at you. How many seconds you got, Nate?
I got 6. All right. So essentially, my time is up.
Yeah.
I want to congratulate you, Ms. Kennard, on your appointment. I think you did an outstanding job before you were finally confirmed.
Okay, after what you've been to her, now you ought to butter her up a little bit. It doesn't work. Mr. Burnson.
Yes, Nate. You said that you make people unhappy. Well, you know, people aren't going to be happy. I always say, if you can't make them happy, make them unhappy. Because we've been making people unhappy for years, you know, and here we are, you know. So the point is this. I've supported Palmdale for many years. I think that we're going to have to go in that direction simply because of we're going to have 5 to 6 million more people in this region in the next 10 to 15 years. And air travel is going to increase in percentages, not decrease, plus freight shipments and other thing else. We have to make provisions for the future. And I think Palmdale is the ideal site, and it was planned a long time ago. But there is one thing you have to overcome, Jim, and Lydia, you have to be aware of this. There is a terrible problem on getting there and getting back, and that has to be solved. And I'm going to make a suggestion to you. One of the things that we were forced to do was to give money back to the airlines before because of the fact that we couldn't use it for local use. There's no reason that we can't use landing fees to build a beltway similar to the Washington, D.C. beltway to get to the airport and back, because it's not going to happen until that happens. In all due respect, I know Ms. Galanter supports it. Obviously, she has a little personal thing there because of her district, and I don't blame her. We all understand that. But it ought to be shared. We need to also encourage the people in Orange County. We need to encourage the people in Riverside County. Those abandoned Air Force bases, El Toro and Marchfield, need to be developed so they can also take their share of the load. It's not fair for all of it to go to LAX, nor is LAX capable of handling that tremendous load that's going to grow within the next 10 to 15 years. So we have to go to Palmdale. But Lydia, seriously speaking, let's look at increasing some of those landing fees and using them for airport use, which is the future development of Palmdale. Okay? Thank you.
Ms. Galanter.
Yeah, I don't want to have an argument with anybody. I just want to point out that our very own LA World Airports already owns about 5 times as much land in the Antelope Valley zone for an airport as it owns at LAX. So when we talk about the kinds of things Mr. Holden has quite properly raised about the need for a buffer zone and the need to protect the neighbors in the Palmdale site are a lot farther away from the airfield than they are at LAX.
Okay. The debate is ended, so let's vote on item number 31. Item 31. We don't need yours, Nate. Prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That is approved. Okay, that motion is made by Ms. Galanter, and we'll send that forthwith. Next item.
Item number 37, called special by Councilmember Holden.
No, we're going back to the original. 37. Mr. Holden.
Mr. President and members, the convention center, this is a cost being forgiven of about $1,200 for using convention center. And I just think this is a worthy cause, is to improve the census. U.S. Department of Commerce and Bureau of Census is planning a training session. This may have occurred already, I don't know, but it says this week, and I'm going to be consistent in my vote in terms of, for worthy causes, voting to forgive the costs. And I join with Ms. Walters and ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Holden. Seeing no further speakers, prepare the roll, please. Tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Next item, please.
Item number 42, called special.
By whom? Okay, Ms. Mizikowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. This was a motion that had been introduced last week, I think, as a special, and Council did not allow it to did not vote to special it, and it was sent to committee, and committee has scheduled it actually for next Monday. This is the motion by Councilmember Walters asking the Police Commission to immediately restructure the independent panel doing the Rampart investigation. And while I have no problem with the request of having the independent panel be supplemented and augmented to better reflect the diversity in our city, and I know that the commission members are doing that, both the commission members and its staff have responded to questions and responded to actually suggestions by members of the council as to who could be and should be consulted and asked to serve on this panel. I don't think that we want to the term immediately restructure sounds as if there is a request that they should stop their work and come up with a new structure, as opposed to, I think, the sentiment, which is really strongly encouraging them to augment, supplement it, and report back to the council by way of the committee as to what they are doing, how they are seeking additional members. In fact, just, I think about 2 weeks ago, I met with the members of the Coalition for Police Accountability and suggested that they too submit members rather than just perceiving themselves on the outside and being of concern and serving that critical role, to be brought in. And in fact, the day after the meeting, they were contacted by a representative of the Police Commission and asked for both members to suggest as well as issues to suggest. So I think the Commission is moving in the right direction. I think its staff and the staff of the panel are moving in the right direction. And I think that this motion, which suggests that there be a report back to the Council assuring, guaranteeing, and informing us of these efforts, is the appropriate sentiment. But again, I had a problem with immediately restructure. I would like to see that change to supplement and augment the composition. And the issue here, where it is to be the second or the final paragraph, which talks about reporting back, I would like to suggest that be reported back by way of the committee.
Mrs. Zakowski, are you offering a friendly amendment
I'm
to Ms.
offering a
Walters'
friendly
motion?
amendment if it will be accepted as a friendly
Well,
amendment.
Ms. Walters is our next speaker, so please read it.
Thank you, Mr. President. Council members, I recognize the good intentions of Ms. Mizakowski and the city's Public Safety Committee. However, I think this matter is of such urgent concern that it warrants our taking this action today. The fact that such a monolithic body, to put it mildly, could be appointed in this day and age is of real concern. It's monolithic in terms of occupation and almost monolithic in terms of race. They're and gender. It's primarily men, primarily white. And I'm sure they're all well-intentioned, that the commissioners and Mr. Eglash are well-intentioned, but council members, I had a meeting with Mr. Eglash, and I asked him this question. He tells me that he doesn't know what color people are. And that was astonishing to me in 2000, year 2000. We've left the 90s. That was something that people used in the 50s and 60s, and to a lesser extent in the 70s, to avoid taking steps that would make this a more inclusive society. There are a lot of people of color, a lot of outstanding people of color, of both genders, male and female, in this city who would be qualified to serve. They don't all have to be lawyers, but even if they were lawyers, there are a lot of lawyers among those populations. And I'm horrified, astounded, depressed, all of those things by the appointment of these people. And my objection to having people submit names all along and letting the components that this group has been divided into, the 8 components that it's been divided into, add names as they go along. I want people to be there at the beginning, at the creation. Otherwise, we're creating second-class citizens on a commission that must be all first-class citizens and have the same standing. This is outrageous. The problems that they're addressing are primarily problems that occurred in the Latino community, and we just ignored the people of color. So I urge and I vote on this today.
Mr. Holden.
Mr. President, members, I don't think we should delay on this motion. I think the public is, Mr. Farrar, is demanding it, at least in my community. I'm getting some real, I'm getting some really negative feedback as to who was appointed and how they were subsequently elected. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with having, including females, Latinos, and blacks on the committee. Does anybody see anything wrong with that? I don't. and I therefore move that the Police Commission be urged to immediately restructure the composition of the Rampart Independent Review Panel in order to substantially reflect the diversity of our city. Anybody see anything wrong with that? I think that's pretty clear. More importantly, in order to assure the credibility and acceptance of any work which this panel will produce. I don't see anything wrong with that. You know what? Having worked with each and every one of you, I don't think any of you see anything wrong with it either. So I would think that it's such an evil thing that happened at Rampart, I don't know how else to put it, that we really, and the public has lost confidence, not only in those who sometimes protect and serve us, but in us, if we sit back and don't take a positive, corrective action to fix it when they've told us that it's wrong. The people who have been victimized, or certainly what I read in the paper of the Brown, the blacks haven't come out yet, but you can bet your bottom buck that's going to happen too. And certainly not the community which most of you tend to represent. So we are sensitive. And I'm concerned about the insensitivity of those who selected this panel. The fact they say they're colorblind. Then do by random, put them out the hats then if you're colorblind. What are they talking about? How can you say this panel constitutes a representative of this entire community? Something is wrong. I'm become more angry today than I have been. After hearing some of this discussion. I don't think that we ought to amend this at all, and I would be appalled if we did. And so I'm prepared to vote for this motion intact right now.
Mr. Wax?
I think Mrs. Walters and Mr. Holden have said much of what I wanted to say, but just go one step beyond that. I was particularly pleased, Ms. Walters and I talked, that she put in occupational diversity. This is a case where, as well-intentioned as people may be, they really miss the point. You simply can't have all lawyers on a panel that is going to look into modern-day policing and how it interfaces with the people who are being policed and the people on whose behalf we're policing. You've got to include a variety of life experiences in a panel like this. You've got to include people who are not just lawyers or people in the profession. You have got to include people on the other end of the stick. You've got to include people in the neighborhoods and the communities that you want to form partnerships with. You've got to see it from the other side before you can ever really figure out what may or may not have gone wrong. And one of the whole reasons this commission that's, quote, independent, and you just simply don't have an independent commission by calling it independent. It has to truly be independent, and it truly has to reflect the diverse interests that come to play and come to bear on an issue of policing in an urban society in the 21st century. And I just feel that there is such a great need to go beyond the traditional approach of some distinguished people in the legal profession looking at this and broadening it from religious leaders, because there are clearly moral contexts involved here, to community leaders, to people from an underclass who are daily affected by the actions. Unless and until you really bring enough people to the table who share a variety of different life experiences and relationships with law enforcement, you're not going to get a really true picture of what has to be dealt with. And you're not going to really make the kind of changes that I think are called for and that this begs out for. So Ms. Walters' motion is a great step in that direction. And I think that it is imperative that we adopt it as it is, but even that is not going to resolve it. But at least it's attempting to get at some of the fundamental problems with the commission that was appointed, as good as those individual members may be. And I think there are some extraordinarily good people who are appointed, but it just doesn't anywhere go near enough to bring us to where we're going to have to eventually be.
Do we have Ms. Sikowski's motion? What is it?
to substitute for immediately restructure, to supplement and augment the composition, and also request to report through the committee on the results.
Okay, prepare the roll on that.
Mr. President, before you do the roll, if I may, I would accept as a friendly amendment the augment and supplement, but I think when it says through the committee, that slows down the process, and that part I don't accept, can't accept, because I think the timing is so critical. They are off and running. The train has already left the station, and we cannot hold it back having it through committee. So I will support augment and supplement and no on the through committee. Now, and the committee can get it simultaneously, but it shouldn't sit in committee for it to be acted on. And if it's Ms. Mizikowski's intention that it comes simultaneously when these appointments are made, the other appointments didn't come through committee, then I can accept the whole thing. If not, I would accept only the augment and supplement, and if that's not satisfactory, then I would not accept the amendment.
Ms. Walters, this will be on next Monday's committee agenda. We'll bring it in immediately thereafter. So by Wednesday, if we can get a special attention from the clerk, we'll bring it. Or we can actually ask it to come on the council agenda next Wednesday, but in committee on Monday.
Well, that's another week delay, Ms. Mizikowski.
But I'm talking about just the part where the Inspector General comes back and reports on what they're doing.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I think we reconciled that this will be, the Inspector General will come back on Monday and tell the committee what it's doing in implementing this council action if it passes today, and we'll bring that back on council a week from tomorrow.
Okay,
Point of order.
Mr. Bernstein?
Yes, members.
Point of order goes first, Mr. President.
I recognize you, Mr. Holden.
Thank you, Mr.
Hold my
President.
time, would you please? Members of the council, here we go again. We're trying to usurp the prescribed charter provisions for dealing with the police department. We have watched, we've said before, we've supported the commission's action. The commission is responding. I think what this panel is impaneled to do is to review what's happened at Rampart and other divisions if it is the case, and to make sure that proper action is taken. It's to give an outside the panel review. What you're trying to do is to get back into a civilian review panel to overlook the department. I'm not going to support that, I'll tell you right now. I do support letting the commission do their job, and I can do that because I'm not running for office right now or ever again. And I would urge you to think twice before you start.
What about Lieutenant Governor? You still?
Well, I might consider that, John. Only if you'll go for the top spot, because I want to serve under you. But I must tell you, I think we took the right step before we said, let the commission do their job. It may come to the point where they decide themselves that they want to expand the panel or have some other type of review, whether it's community or religious community or whatever the case may be, but let them do their job. I urge you not to vote for this.
All right, Mr. Holden, point of order?
I can make my point. Mr. Bernstein, I voted to let the commission do its job, and this is the job that the commission has done, and I'm very disappointed that they didn't show any diversity in selecting this study panel. No, they have not. And it seemed to me, at least, that we don't want to give the impression, and I hate to use this term, that this is going to be a whitewash. You can't do that. We have to let the public know that what we do here today and beyond, that they can trust that we make the best decision for the people of our community, all across the board. You say diversity in the jury pool. That was in the paper today. Diversity in the courtrooms. You should be judged by your peers, 12 people in the panel, people who know and live with you and understand your work and life environment. That's what our democracy was that's what the Constitution was trying to establish. And we want to break away from that concept today by saying a certain segment with a certain work class and a certain class from a certain communities that's not even representative of the victims. Not even representative of the victims. How cruel. That's cruel and unusual punishment within itself. I'm upset with the commission. And I intend to tell them more today about it, how upset I am, than I have in the past.
Try not to be too upset, Nate,
Mr.
please, because it bothers me when you're upset.
Oh, Mr. President, I'm going to calm down and I won't be too
Yeah,
upset.
okay.
I'll smile when I tell them off. But in any case, I think that we should
Okay, your time is
vote
up,
for.
Nate.
No, I got a minute and 8
No,
seconds.
you did.
All right.
Okay, we have the motion as amended. Prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
10 ayes, 1 no.
I should point out that if I had been in the chair, I would have sent that to committee when it came up for this again, so. Okay, next item.
Item number 43 called special.
Yeah, we have, you want to recommend?
Council should adopt the recommendation number 1 and continue recommendations 2 and 3 to tomorrow for the ordinance.
Okay. Any discussion on that? If not, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That is approved. Next item.
This is the time for comments from the public on non-agenda items.
Anybody in the audience wants to be heard? Public comment? We have no cards. Seeing none, the public comment period is closed. We're going to go into executive session, so those not involved with the executive session, please leave the council chamber. In the meantime, we'll clear the desk off.
Motions for posting and referral.
Unanimous vote.
You have excuses on the desk, Mr. President. Councilmember Chick requests to be excused April 28th and May 3rd to leave at 11:30. City business meets council policy.
Unanimous vote.
Councilmember Swornish requests to be excused from today's meeting and tomorrow illness. I need a motion.
All right, Mr. Wax moves. Unanimous vote.
And Council President Farrar requests to be excused Friday, April 28th to arrive late. Personal business meets council policy.
Unanimous vote.
That clears the desk, Mr. President.
Okay. Sergeant, clear everybody out that doesn't belong.
A, settlement in the amount of $155,000 in the case of United Services Automobile Association versus City of Los Angeles.
Open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
That is approved. Next item.
Item 48C, settlement in the amount of $150,000 in the case of Bertha Alvarez versus City of LA&L.
Open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
That is also approved. Next item. I think that's
That
it.
clears the desk.
All right, are there any adjourning motions besides mine? Well, I'd like to start by asking that we adjourn in memory of my friend Rubel Helgeson, whom many of you know from her days as a planning deputy here. And I also want to thank Cindy for agreeing to let me do this, because Rubel was a longtime active constituent in the 11th District, but she's my friend.
All members.
And so, Cindy, I really appreciate your letting me be the one to do that. I think we should have all members on that. Rubel died just over a week ago after 2 weeks in the hospital. She had lost her husband just 8 months earlier, 8 or 9 months earlier. And it was all very sad. And she is going to be, there's going to be a real vacuum in the Palisades and in much of our city planning, and certainly in our airport review effort. She had served as my planning deputy when I first was elected, but she had a long career before that and a long career after that, and she was back working as a consultant for us on the airport matter. And this was all kind of unexpected, and it's just been awful. She's survived by her parents, her sister Louisa, her son David, and her daughter Kirsten. Anybody else? Cindy?
I would just like to add about Rubel that I met her over 25 years ago, and today, where we know traffic calming and neighborhood efforts, one of the first things that I had gotten involved with Rubel on, besides the big battles like No Oil, the big battles like saving the Palisade Highlands and saving thousands of acres in the Santa Monica Mountains, was actually a little local street which was being used as a cut-through, a shortcut into the village, into a commercial area and through the high school. And she helped create some statistical information that showed us we really didn't need it as the shortcut, and it could be shut down, and actually was eventually opened one way for emergency. But it was no neighborhood battle was too small or no issue was too large for her not to tackle. And I think the greatest credit to her is after spending major years battling Chuck Chastain in Palisade Highlands over what that time was going to be thousands of units up there, and successfully negotiating and fighting, not only here, but in court and in Governor Brown's office over legislation in Sacramento, that she successfully worked out a compromise, and it was not more than about a year later that Chuck Chastain then hired her to help implement some of those things that she had battled him for, because she was so good at what she did, so credible, and had such integrity.
And on top of that, she could really kill you with the statistics, because everything, when she came in with an argument, she really had the argument to back it up. Right. Mr. Wax. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Padilla.
Thank you, Madam President. Requested the council adjourn in memory of Liborio Cesareo, who was shot and died this last Sunday. Of all days, not only Easter Sunday, but the Sunday of one of his 13-year-old son's confirmation at church. He was very involved in the community and was passionate about keeping his part of the neighborhood clean and crime-free. He was shot to death at about 10:30 p.m. And the belief at this point, the police is still doing an investigation. The belief is he was fending off some taggers in the community and didn't take it too well. On behalf of the police department, they are appealing to the public, if there are any witnesses or more information, to please call the Foothill Division detectives at 818-834-3115. He's survived by his wife and 7 children.
Mr. Wax.
Yes, first I'd also like to join with you in Rubel's memory.
It's all members.
She did what she did long before it was fashionable, and really sort of paved the way for much of what we talk about today. She did with a few other people. Also, I'd like the council to adjourn in memory of Ross Guffin. He was a very, very bright young intern in my office for a couple of years, and had also been a staff member at Camp Hess Kramer, and he left to start his own technology firm, which he was doing well, and he was killed in a car accident this weekend and leaves his father, and I'll give the clerk the pertinent information.
It's been a bad week.
Yeah.
Call the roll. Council is adjourned. See you tomorrow.